Welcome back. You're tuned into Market Farafat, where we are taking you through all the buzzes in trade. And now on the technical charts, we're joined by Sameet Chavan, who's the head of research, technical and derivatives, Angel One, and of course, we're joined back by Ansh. Hi, good afternoon, Sameet. Thank you so much for joining us. You've picked out Apollo Hospitals for us. And this counter has done pretty decent, in the last 6 odd months. 18-19% return. From here on, what are the levels that you're seeing on the charts for this counter?
In fact, the kind of broad-based sell-off that we witnessed in the market in the last couple of hours, most of the pharma and healthcare stocks have been bucking the trend. And Apollo Hospital, which has been stable since last 3 weeks, it has done nothing. Consolidated in a very slender range, 7,400 on the higher side, low side there's a strong support around 7,200. But since morning, we are seeing good traction in this counter. So, once the stock gives a breakout beyond 70, 7400, we can see a decisive move coming in this particular counter. As a disclosure, we have recommended this to a client with an anticipation of, this breakout. So one can keep a stop around the 72.15 and go long for a target of 75.25. And once this, breakout gets confirmed beyond 70, will not be surprised to see the stock heading towards 75.25, which is our target, and then probably towards 77.
All right, that's the technical take coming in on Apollo Hospitals. We're moving on. Let's shift focus to Ola Electric. Seems to be in the reverse gear because the stock is actually down about 4.5% in trade right now, definitely on the back of the news flow, wherein we are seeing multiple senior level exits coming in for Ola Electric. And in the latest, the CMO Anshul Khandelwal and the CTO Sovanil Chatterjee have resigned on 27th of December with immediate effect, citing some of the personal reasons. Now, Khandelwal did join Ola in 2019 and Chatterjee joined Ola in 2017. So they have been in the organization where they were initially not a part of Ola Electric, but over the years did get into the Ola Electric division as well as also raised to some of the senior executive positions as well. And Ola Electric has been known for its high attrition rates, as we know, because this year itself on 2024 we have seen multiple exits from the likes of the Chief People Officer N. Balachandra have also resigned recently, and earlier this year Parmendra Tomar has also, who was this company secretary and compliance officer, have also left the company. This is definitely not seen on the positive side, and the stock is hammered in trade right now.
All right, Ola Electric down and out, 4.5% in trade today. But moving on to another counter, Granules India, that is in focus today now. Hyderabad-based US-focused pharma firm Granules India is expecting the new drug applications from its Gagillapur facility in Hyderabad to be approved by US FDA in the first quarter of next financial year, FY26. On the back of that, Granules is in focus today, has given up those morning gains in that one-way slide that we can see, reeling out of selling pressure for now with cuts of 1%.
All right, that's about Granules India. We're moving on to the next counter then, and Ansh, take us through what's happening with Prestige Estate and why this stock in focus today.
So the company has entered into a business transfer agreement with Prestige Hospitality Ventures Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, for transferring the following businesses. Undertaking consisting of first, Mulberry Shades, Bengaluru Nandi Hills, a tribute portfolio resort. Second, underlying land along with all rights at Moxie Outer Ring Road. And third, 57.45% of equity shares of Prestige Leisure Resort Private Limited. And all of this is for a cash consideration of around 3,130 million rupees, and the duration for which is around 90 days. This is the reason why the stock is in focus today.
All right, moving on from Prestige Estates to Sameet, Lupin is the name that you picked out for us. Now, this counter has been soaring in the, for the last 5 consecutive sessions. It is seeing gains. In fact, it is up almost 2% in today's trading session also. From here on, where do you see this counter headed? A positive breakout coming in for Lupin?
Yes, as I just alluded to that, the entire pharma healthcare space has been bucking the trend. In fact, Lupin is the one stock that has been doing well since last, 1.5 weeks. It has already formed a good base around 2,000, and last week we saw decisive breakout happening from its recent hurdles of 2120, 2150, and today also we are seeing a good positive traction in this counter. this stock is now likely to challenge its previous size, which is around 2320, and once this important hurdle is crossed, we may see the stock heading towards 2450, 2500. So overall bias means positive. Any decline is likely to get bought into 2100, 2120 would act as a very strong support.
All right, that's the take coming in on Lupin then. But moving on, let's shift focus to Coforge then, because yes, indeed, there is been a deal that was announced with Cigniti, and now there's been the final stamp coming in on this one, because Coforge Cigniti merger, the swap ratio has been announced on the expected lines, where 5 shares of Cigniti to get 1 share of Coforge Limited, and the swap is slightly favorable to Cigniti shareholders but very close to the current market price. Now the share swap transaction will lead to a 4% dilution in Coforge equity shares, and the merged entity will create 3 new scaled-up verticals, namely retail, technology as well as healthcare. So on the back of this news flow and the final stamp and the final deals coming out with respect to the swap ratios, Coforge is in focus today, and for now the stock is holding on to almost 1% gain in trade right now.
All right, that's Coforge gaining 1% in trade right now. But moving on, Ansh, you've picked out Ultratech Cement for us. In fact, this one is again doing well in trade today on the back of a Goldman Sachs note that has come in. In fact, it has given up all those morning gains, is now slipped into the red. Tell us, what is the note saying though?
In buy rating, and target price is around 12,460. Currently the stock is trading around 11,370 rupees, so around 9 to 10% up move is what the company is targeting for. And as per that, they value the Star Cement stake at around $145.6 per ton for FY24 and $115.5 for FY26. And they also said that the company is best placed for the pickup in demand, which is for cement sector. Also, they have said that they expect a volume growth of 10 to 11% CAGR over FY23 to FY26 estimated. And lastly, they have also highlighted that there are multiple opportunities for the company to reduce their cost to improve their margins.
All right, that's about Ultratech Cement. But moving on there, and indeed, one such sector that is in the pink of health is indeed pharma sector. A lot of counters are buzzing in trade, and Biocon is specifically one of those counters that Sameet you are tracking very closely. Talk to us more about Biocon. Which are the levels that you're tracking here?
See, if you look at its recent price behavior, stock, whenever reaches its lower band of 320, 325, the buying tends to attract, and stock, gives a decent recovery. And this is what exactly we have been witnessing since last 4 trading sessions. Stock recovered sharply from the, 200-day simple moving average levels of 330. And the kind of volume activity is supporting this price action. It suggests that 380, 385 is likely to get challenged in the next couple of days. And once the stock surpasses 385, we could see a breakout happening on monthly time frame chart after nearly 2 to 3 in fact years. So overall, the price and volume activity seems quite promising. And once the stock surpasses 385, you could see a massive rally coming in stock.
All right, let's move on then. Quickly, let's mark the markets first. We're seeing a decline of almost 250 odd points in the Nifty. In fact, we are now at 23,643 levels as far as Nifty is concerned. Nifty Bank is seeing a sharper fall of almost 1,000 points from the day's highs. 50,803 is where Nifty Bank is perched at. If you look at the broader markets too, that is also seeing a sharp cut. In fact, small cap is reeling under a lot of pressure. It's trading with cuts of almost 9/10%. Mid cap also, that was outperforming the benchmark indices, is now down 0.5%. As far as the broader markets also concerned, they have also come under selling pressure now. And their Nifty Bank, suffering the most right now, reeling under a pressure and a cut of more than 1,000 odd points from the day's highest point. So that's how the markets are shaping up for now, giving up all those midday gains that we saw coming in the markets. But let's move on then. The year that 2024 was, how did it really pan out when it comes to the returns? Did equities really fare better than the commodities, and how did India stack up against the rest of the world? To get us a lowdown of that, Sharad is joining us with the roundup.
Well, important milestones were achieved for Dalal Street in 2024. If you look at Nifty, it touched 26,000 levels for the first time, and it's up 9th year in a row. Even if the mid cap, you look at it, 5th year up in a row, and small cap also up 2nd year in a row as well. Now let's look at on a year-to-date basis how the indices have performed. Nifty has given almost 10% returns year-to-date basis, and we still have 2 trading sessions to go. Nifty mid-cap, Nifty small-cap yielding more than 23% returns. Also, let's look at how the segments have performed, and of course, clear outperformance seen in for realty and pharma. Strong performance coming from IT, auto as well. Metals being 9%, being volatile. But banking, energy, that is on the lower end. But FMCG is the only sector which is coming in the red, coming in at almost 1% degrowth. Also, let's look at the market capital addition which has happened in the Dalal Street, in the BSE. The start of the year, it was around 364 lakh crore, and now that's up 22%, currently at more than 440 lakh crore rupees. Now, let's look at how the flows have actually worked out. The FIs have been selling roughly 3 lakh crores of sale has happened in the cash market. While DI, the absorption has been really strong. Almost 5.2 lakh crore of inflows have come. Now let's look at how the returns have panned out with India versus the global basis. Nifty coming in at 7%. And also if you look at Nasdaq, Nikkei, Shanghai, they have also been gyrating. The numbers were moving around. Nikkei and Nifty is almost same. Shanghai on the other side is higher, 13%, but Kospi has been an underperformer in compared to most of the exchanges. Now let's look at how the asset classes have moved. Bitcoin is the clear winner. You can look at it, 122% gains which has come in here, and of course a lot of support coming in US legislations and ETF inflows as well. But gold and silver over here, more than 23% returns for both of these important asset classes as well. But on the other hand, Brent crude has been volatile and downward towards 5%. But clearly, Bitcoin is a winner when it comes to the asset classes performance in dollar terms.
Welcome back. You're tuned into Market Farafat, where we are taking you through all the stocks that are in focus today. And on the back of that, IT stocks are in focus. In fact, IT stocks are in focus after US President Donald Trump, US President-elect Donald Trump supported the H-1B worker visa, calling it a great program. This has followed the Tesla chief Elon Musk post last week, stating that the number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the US is far too low. In fact, remember, Goldman Sachs is out to turn constructive on Indian IT sector heading into the new year. In fact, the brokerage expects 7% revenue growth for the sector in the financial year 2026 compared to 4% this year and 1.5% in the financial year 2024. Now, the revenue growth projections for Goldman Sachs are driven by the strength in the US economy, which is nearly 60% of Indian IT revenues. And on the back of this, HCL Tech is up 1%. LTI Mindtree has given up this morning. Gains is reeling under selling pressure with cuts of 0.8%. Infosys and TCS are also in focus on the back of that.
All right, then that's about some of the IT names. But moving on, then let's shift focus to NMTC, and that stock is hammered definitely in trade today. And Sameet, talk to us about the levels. The stock is seen to be actually breaking below its key support level of close to 70 rupees. But what are your targets coming in on this one?
Yes, as you rightly pointed out, this stock is, on the verge of a confirming breakdown on a daily basis from its key support level of 70. This important support has been tested nearly 7 to 8 times previously in last 6 to 8 odd months. But today, stock prices have slipped below this important level, and then now the next important level to watch out for would be around 63. So 63 would be a make or break level because below 63 we don't see any major support before 50. So considering the overall price action, the stock has been continuing its downward trend. We can see a bearish flat pattern getting confirmed. So 63, 63.5, these are the next important levels to watch out for.
All right, that's about NMTC. But moving on, then Ansh, talk to us about Hero MotoCorp. Why is this stock is in focus today?
So the company has extended partnership with Harley-Davidson Motor Company, and the main objective is to expand the Harley-Davidson X440 into new variants as well as to develop a new motorcycle, and the focus is both on domestic and selected international markets as well. Also, if you see on chart, then stock has actually fallen over 30% from that September highs, due to which the stock has dropped to an oversold region as per RSI, which is in its 20 levels, which is actually a positive sign for the company.
All right, but sticking with the auto pack, let's also shift focus to M&M, because that's the flash on the bottom of your screen, where the company has announced that BII, that is British International Investment, which earlier have already announced that they're going to be putting money in Mahindra's electric arm. Now they have actually cut down their whole investment plans marginally, because earlier they have committed that by 31st December 2024, the company will be investing around 725 crores in Mahindra's Electric Automobile Limited, that is MEAL. But now both the companies have mutually agreed that from 725 crores of investment that was planned earlier, they are now cutting down to 650 crores. So definitely, given the kind of response and given the kind of new electric versions that Mahindra is gearing up to get into the markets in the upcoming year, they must have agreed to cut down a bit some kind of investments. But as per me, that's not a substantial amount. There's just a difference of 75 crores. That won't make a much of a difference for Mahindra and Mahindra. And overall, the total investments by BII Group in MEAL would be around 1850 crores. That will result in a shareholding in the range of 2.64 to 4.6% of the share capital of MEAL. So on the back of this news flow, M&M is in focus, but indeed in pressure today.
All right, moving on to Sameet then. BHEL is the name that you picked out for us. Like, a lot of other PSU names. This one is also in the last 6 months has corrected over 24%. So from here on, do you see, the counter to start moving up, or does the downward trend continue for this?
See, as of now, the trend remains to be on the downward direction. Overall, if you see, stock has slipped below its important support level of 231 today itself, and the next important support cluster can be seen in the range of 218 to 216. So looking at the overall, sell-off in this counter, in fact, in some of the PSUs counters as well, we expect rub-off effect to continue in this BHL, and 220, 218 are likely to get retested in next couple of days. So any bounce back from current level is likely to get sold into, and 240, 245 would act as a very strong wedge.
All right, that's about BHEL. The stock is seen to be under pressure, but with this fears, we are completely timed out in this edition of Market Fatapat. It's a goodbye from me and Ankita and the entire team who put this show together. But before that, let me thank Ansh as well as Sameet for joining us today and highlighting all the buzzers in trade right now. But for this, it's a goodbye from me and the whole team who put this show together. Thanks.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.